Andrea Hernandez's day starts with her backpack, sweatshirt, and student ID. But don't be fooled. This magnet school sophomore isn't using her new RFID badge. She's using last year's card. Hernandez says the new ID violates her religious beliefs. She believes it conditions students to one day accept what the Bible's book of Revelation calls the mark of the beast. Her school requires the card for its activities, like buying lunch and checking out a library book.
This is, it's not the great economy of the United States economy, like the economy of Texas, it's the economy of John Jay High School, but you're still not allowed to participate in it unless you have this thing.
But Northside says the badges help to keep kids safe. And with 100,000 students in mega schools around the city, that's a tall order. This fall, Northside joined a handful of districts that use what's called radio frequency identification technology, or RFID for short. Northside is piloting the program at its Anson Jones Middle School and John Jay High School. How it works: students must wear badges on lanyards around their necks. The tags contain tiny batteries that emit radio waves. RFID scanners embedded in the ceiling then read the badges and identify a student's location. Like so many schools in America, Jones Middle has surveillance cameras mounted on the ceiling in nearly every hallway. What you won't see here, however, are the RFID scanners that are scanning students' badges.
It's not just knowing a schedule of a student, which may or may not hold true for that day, but it's actually knowing physically where that child is.
Attendance clerks can now identify a student's location in the moment or earlier in the day. It all comes down to these pink circles, which track a student's movement. And many parents support the system, saying it gives them peace of mind.
As a parent, I want to know where my son is because I'm holding the school accountable for his well-being.
But other parents disagree.
I don't like the idea of them chipping the kids.
I believe it does invade our children's privacy and civil liberties, and the fact that there's no provision to opt out.
That's true.
Privacy organizations around the country are backing these parents.
The ultimate concern is here that we don't want to turn into a surveillance society. In our culture and our legal traditions, the government doesn't watch you unless it has particular reason to suspect that you are involved in wrongdoing.
This type of technology implicates the freedom of speech, the right to freely associate, religious freedoms. Imagine, for example, a student being dissuaded from attending a political interest group because she fears that the tracking technology will alert the principal or other members of the school administration where her political affiliations align.
But the school district says there's no invasion of privacy and that civil liberty organizations don't get it.
We reject their argument. They don't walk in our shoes. They are not the principal or the assistant principal or the teacher in one of these mega schools charged with the safety of these children.
We're not sitting here tracking kids all day long. We don't have time to do that.
The district has no opt-out policy, which may discourage dissenters from speaking out. District spokesman Pascual Gonzalez says when the program is fully operational later this month, the badges will be mandatory.
It will be a requirement of that school for those students to wear their lanyard and their ID card. If they refuse, then perhaps that's not the school for them.
The district also believes the system will help the schools financially. That's because Texas, like many other states, ties attendance to funding. So the more kids a school can count, the more revenue it receives. RFID technology can help to increase attendance rates by finding students who are in the building but not in class.
It's really the kids that are on campus that are doing something legitimately with another teacher or staff member, but they were marked absent.
Manufacturer Michael Wade supplies Northside and 2 other Texas school districts with the RFID badges, and his business is growing. By year's end, he expects to supply at least 10 districts. Wade says the technology makes sense for schools concerned about both safety and budget.
There is this misconception that RFID is tracking something, and we're not. Again, it's a real-time location system. No one's sitting at the computer tracking anyone.
But Andrea Hernandez is not convinced, and she says she's in this fight for the long haul.
And Northside can throw, whatever they want at me, but in the end, it doesn't really matter because life is bigger than just Northside. It's bigger than just John Jay High School. but this program is bigger than what Northside is making it out to be.
Reporting in San Antonio, Heather Sells, CBN News.
Okay, Shalom. Go by name Robert Moff with the Nebraska camp. This is GMS, any quick in the spirit. First off, I want to give all praise to Yahweh C.H.I.P. Double honors for the apostles/elders, which are GMS, and blessings and salutations to you brothers and you few sisters out there that do this truth and sincerity, and blessings again to you brothers that do this work in truth and sincerity. Now, with that being said, we're gonna start off Revelations 13-16, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Okay, here is wisdom. Let him that understandeth, that have understanding, count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Okay, at this point, I would assume that, we know what this passage is referring to, which is the mark of the beast, of course, connecting it to the RFID chip. But we still gonna get the definition real quick, just for edification's sake, before we go into the subject at hand. Okay. Okay, that word mark goes back to the Greek word charagma. Okay, it means a stamp, an imprinted mark, a mark stamped on a forehead, or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist. The mark branded upon horses, thing carved, sculpture, graven work of idolatrous images. Something that's similar to a mark is a tattoo. And other different ways of tattoos, from scars to how you used to do the erasers when you were small. But this one is going to be an incision in the skin. Okay, and what I want to go over today is the angle I want to go over is I once heard one, I believe it was Nate or one of these other guys, that said, who would want to get chipped? Okay, as you can see on this angle that's going to be presented, is that they're going to make the public want to be chipped. You seen in the video, they said, we're not going to be tracking people all day. All you need is basically problem reaction solution. Okay, who says they don't of course you're not going to sit at the computer and track them all day, but who says they're not going to have a student tracked within that barrier? Say they go outside their barrier, if they want to go to a meeting and do some religious things and whatever it is, and that's a red area that they cannot go past according to the computer, and of course what's going to happen is going to alert the system and say, hey, this kid is over here doing this. So yeah, you're not going to sit there and track them. You know what I'm saying? If you're intelligent enough, you're going to just put them in a box in a time frame where they should be and where they shouldn't be. Okay, and so if they're not in that box, then you could just raise a red flag that way. So of course you don't have to sit at the computer and track them all day. Esau like to be funny and shit, man. But at the end of the day, you're tracking them. Okay? At the end of the day, you're tracking them. How come you just have a kid punch their number in or scan the card at the door, okay, of the class, right? Why you got to see where they're going from beginning to end? Because you're tracking them. That's why, man. Real time movement. And the point is that they're making, in this case, the parents want it. Okay? So I want to get this, see here, I want to get this right here. Medicaid Gov, keeping America healthy. This is the main thing that they're going to use to, next to the dollar crashing, they're going to use a terrorist act, and they're going to use medical okay? Especially with the Obamacare, okay? Because it is, if you have a job and you all have families, you know it is very expensive to have insurance as a family. Because as an individual, you can just get some cheap shit like Aflac at $24 a paycheck. But if you want to take care of your whole family, that's gonna be the $200 to $300 to even $400 every 2 weeks off your paycheck, man. Okay, so we're gonna go here. This is and they use some real slick wordplay to get people comfortable with the idea of the word CHIP. Okay, it says financing the Children's Health Insurance Program. That's what it's an acronym for the word CHIP, Children's Health Insurance Program. It's funded jointly by the federal government and states through a formula based on the Medicaid Federal Medical Assistance Percentage, FMAP, as an incentive for states to expand their coverage programs for children. So this is a problem reaction solution situation in itself, because Obama put in the Affordable Health Care Act. Okay, now you got families that is really for underprivileged families that can't afford it, can't afford health insurance to get free Medicaid. But this CHIP is for what? The working class, the ones that make too much money to get paid, to get affordable health care. And this is for them that the one they make too much money and they don't make enough money to pay for that. So that's basically the working class, okay? And that's why it's making this class of people gonna want to flock to getting into this program, okay? And they're already getting you comfortable by just using the word CHIP as an acronym for the program, okay? It says Congress created an enhanced federal matching rate for CHIP that is generally about 15 percentage points higher than the medical rate, average 71% nationally. For example, if a state has higher than 50% match rate for Medicaid, they may have a 65% match rate for CHIP. Okay, Affordable Care Act enhances federal CHIP funding. The Affordable Care Act extends CHIP through most of 2015 and beginning of October 2015. The already enhanced CHIP federal matching rate will increase by 23 percentage points, bringing the average federal matching rate for CHIP to 93%. Okay, the enhanced federal matching rate continues until September 30th, 2019. More information on federal funding is the Affordable Care Act, which is the Obamacare. Okay, they're basically going to take care of 93% of the medical expenses. Okay, they're going to take care of 93%, man. Okay, and where the fuck they get all this money from? Okay, of course, so the taxpayers and all this shit, and it's going straight to the insurance companies. Okay, they're making millions and billions of dollars off of this shit, man. Okay, the shit just circling, it's just forcing the money to circle through these insurance companies, and also using people to register, you know, because if I believe if you see here, where is it at? On the generic site, it says 8.1 million children enrolled. That's a 2014 statistic enrollment report. This is 2016. Okay, and the reason why it's important in 2016 because 2015 was when the Obamacare situation was applied full force. Okay, so they're just using this program wordplay wise and angle wise to make the public comfortable with the idea of CHIP, the Affordable Health Care Act. And they're basically going to say, it's going to get to the point you're going to actually have to get CHIP, radio frequency ID, okay, which is the mark of the beast. Okay, you're going to have to eventually get CHIP, man. You know, so I just wanted to bring that out, you know, and with that being said, a lot of you nigga women gonna get it. A lot of you old people are gonna get it. A lot of you parents are gonna get it. A lot of the children are gonna get it. You know, and then once they get that, that's the masses, the military, you know, all government employed people from postmen to police officers to firefighters, all those people, if they haven't already, you know, going to the military, will be chipped. And then once you get them, then you're gonna get. It's easy to get the stragglers because it's gonna be by majority rules. Okay, so they're gonna begin to demonize the people who don't get it, and then create a law and enforce it, just like you see in the school. Okay, right now that guy cannot make it mandatory until it's a majority rule thing, and that's their goal. That was his goal. He said it's gonna get to the point that if you don't want the chip, then you have to go to another school. Well, wait, you're using the chip as the attendance policy to bring up more government funding, but you're willing to sacrifice kids not going to the school if they don't have the chip, right? That shows you that's that BS about the budget shit. It's really that the government gonna give them money for every kid they fucking chip, man. Okay, that's what they're gonna fund them for. They just Esau just slick with his words and shit, man. That's why he's the devil, man. Okay, which means deceiver, man. Okay. So with that being said, we're gonna say call halal, y'all by Shimi Shai, the Anasai apostles / elders, which are GMS, and blessings and salutations to you brothers out there teaching and doing work in truth and sincerity. Shalom.